Hi, I'm Stuart from the Norfolk Honey Company and welcome back to our Maisemore Apiary sponsored series of videos. Today I'm going to attempt to repair the brood box that we managed to break while we were putting all the poly hives together last week, and also start painting the hives. We need to make sure that they're well protected before they go out to the apiary, and today we're going to get cracking with both the repair and also the painting, and then we can move them out to the apiary and have them all ready for bees in a week or two. If you've not yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. We've got a great back catalogue of ever-growing information, tips and techniques for you, and it would be great to have you along. We're currently running a queen rearing series and also our usual beekeeping basics, and to that we're adding a getting started series which is designed for the beginner beekeeper, and now we also have our Maisemore Apiaries sponsored apiary videos where we're going to load up all of these poly hives with a full set of nucs in each of the hives and talk you through how we're going to use those poly hives and how they perform, the pros and the cons, the good bits and the bad bits. We're going to see how we get on. So firstly, I need to make a repair to one of the poly hives. We managed to assemble one of the hives incorrectly, and in taking it apart one of the corners snapped off, and I've discovered that you can get polystyrene adhesive, so we're going to use that and then just finish screwing the hive together, and that will make the full set of 12 hives. As we go through the series, we're going to talk you through various components of the hive and show you exactly how we're using them, and also go through all of the equipment that Maisemore Apiaries have very kindly sent to us. If you're interested in the poly hives, then please do take a look at the Maisemore Apiaries website. That's bees-online.co.uk. I'll put all the information down in the description below, so there's no need to have to write anything down at the moment. If you've got any comments or questions, then please put those in the comments section below, and if I can't answer them because this is my first time of using poly hives, then I'll contact the guys at Maisemore Apiaries and get some feedback from them, and hopefully we can answer all of the questions that you have and see how these hives perform. So let's get on and make this repair, and then we can get the paint out and I'll show you what paint I'm using and why I'm using it, and hopefully we can get these hives out to the apiary early next week in position, and then we can get some nucs into them and start feeding them up and building them up into full-size colonies for the summer. So here's the damaged section. We were putting these boxes together incorrectly, and when we tried to take it apart, this corner unfortunately snapped off, but I'm told that you can simply glue it back into place and then put a screw through it, and that will hold it in place and it'll be as good as new. So we're going to give that a try today, and then as we go through the season I'll let you know how we get on. So this is expanded polystyrene glue. It's designed to be used with this particular material. You don't want to use any of the other glues because it will melt the expanded polystyrene. So this is specifically for this. I'm told that you can use something like Gorilla Glue. I've had a comment to say that Gorilla Glue works really well. So as long as it's not the type that's going to melt the polystyrene, I think you can probably get away with any of the other types of glue. I'm sure it's not really necessary, but I'm going to also glue the two faces here just to make sure that this joint is really strong. And then we're just going to push that into place, and then we'll wipe away the excess glue And then finally we're just going to screw through this into the bottom, and that will hold that in place. And then again, just wipe away the excess glue, and I think that that is going to make a really strong finish. So all that remains now is to just finish putting the screws into this particular box, and then it's good to go. Okay, so that's this box completed. It can now go with all the others and be ready for painting. So the guys at Maisemore recommend a smooth masonry paint. This is one that I had for some mating nucs, and so I'm going to carry on using this. It's just a mid-stone brown colour, and it's important to use a masonry paint because if you use a gloss paint or one of the acrylics, then that's going to affect the polystyrene. So stick with masonry paint and you can't go too far wrong. I'm going to try both a roller and a brush and see how we get on. I've got a lot to paint and I'm not going to bore you with the whole process of painting them, so I'm going to get cracking and then we'll catch up towards the end and I'll show you how we've got on and what my preference was. So that's 5 hours of fairly intensive painting, one quick break for lunch, but we've managed to get them all done. I've managed to get them all done. And so now we've got 12 floors, brood bodies, roofs, feeders, and 2 commercial poly nucs that have had one coat of paint. And I'm going to allow them to dry, and then we're going to load up the pickup and take them over to the apiary site that they're going to have as their new home. And I shall be covering them over for tonight because apparently we're in for some fairly heavy rain tomorrow, so I want to give them all another good coat of paint so that they're well protected. It's best to get that done now before we get bees into them, and then that's going to save a lot of time in the future. In the end, I just used the brush. The paint went on really well. I put it on fairly thickly so that it's got quite a good coat on it, and I'm hoping that one more coat will be sufficient, and then I might change some of the floor landing boards in terms of colour so that we've got different colours for different hives, but we'll have a look at that perhaps on Friday. So I'm going to let these dry and then we'll load them up onto the pickup and take them over to the apiary, and I'll show you the unloading process Not that there's much to see, but it's always nice to be able to show you what I'm up to. And I'll just spin the camera around and show you the mess that I've made in the garden. Oh, and one other thing, one tip for when you're painting the roofs: if you turn the roof over and paint the underside first, you can then turn it back so that it's the right way up, and if you put it onto a super, you can then spin it around and paint it without having to get your fingers in the paint and smudge the paint on the roof itself. So I discovered that after about 2 roofs. Again, painting and me don't go terribly well together. I didn't use the roller in the end. I just got stuck into using the paintbrush and didn't even consider using the roller. So I'm pleased that they're all painted up now, and we'll catch up when we're fully loaded up and over at the apiary, cover them over so that they don't get wet. So it's late afternoon and I've brought the poly hives down to the apiary where we're going to set them up as a permanent apiary. And I thought before I unloaded the pickup I'd just show you how they've all fitted onto the pickup and the configuration that I've had to use in order to get them here safely. So I've had them all strapped down, and I managed to get all 12 of the hives in the back of the pickup. Each hive consists of the floor, the brood body, the feeder, and a queen excluder, crown board and roof. They're all strapped together with the straps that have been supplied with the hives, and they fit into the back of the pickup quite nicely. So let me just show you how that's all gone together. So I managed to get 8 of the hives at the back, stacked up quite nicely. But when we got to the very back of the pickup, the footprint of the floor just kind of stuck out a little bit too far, and we couldn't close the back of the pickup. So what we've had to do is to just turn these 2 around so that they fit in, but then the ones on top fit quite nicely. So once the back's closed, these are fitting in just the right direction that I want them to face. So I can quite happily get 12 of these beehives in the back of the pickup to move them from place to place. Having said that, they're going to stay at this apiary on a fairly permanent basis, so I don't anticipate moving them, but it's nice to know that I can get all 12 into the back of the pickup. So the next job is to get them unloaded onto a pallet and then covered up so that the anticipated rain that we're expecting overnight isn't going to cause us any problems with these newly painted hives. But the paint has dried really quickly on them, so I'm really pleased with it. So I'm going to get them unloaded and then come back in a couple of days' time to put another coat of paint on them once the weather dries out. So as you can see behind me, it's all stacked up and covered now, and hopefully we're going to be nice and secure before the rains hit this evening. It's been a long day. I've painted all of those 12 hives and they're going to need another coat of paint on Friday, so hopefully the weather's going to stay dry. I'm really looking forward to getting some bees into these hives now, and next week hopefully we'll be making up some nucs. We've got queens that we're raising, and hopefully we can get some bees into these hives in the very near future. As we move forward, I'm going to have a very close look at these hives. We'll go through each component part as we assemble one to put some bees in, and I hope you'll join me for those. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they compare with the wooden hives that I have, mostly cedar but some pine, and it'll be something that I'll look at over the summer and through into the autumn and winter as well. My thanks again to Jonathan and the team at Maisemore Apiaries who've supplied all the equipment for these videos, and I hope you'll join me again as we move forward into the summer and check out more of the poly hives in action. Thanks for watching.